Some nights I have to dig a little deep to find something to talk about. Some days are boring. There are days in your life where there's nothing going on, and the end of the day comes and you go, wow, I did nothing, I accomplished nothing. Well, that's not today, folks. Not on my road to 40. Hi, I'm Geycen Oliveira, host, producer, director of the Road to 40, in case you didn't know. I think I told you guys earlier in the week that my sister-in-law has been visiting, and she brought two of her kids and one of her kids' sisters from another family. Well, we decided today we're going to drive up to the Blue Ridge Parkway and just try to find some scenic sites, take some nice pictures, and so on and so forth. Just have a good day. So we didn't end up leaving until 2:30. I had practice day. We wrote 3 new songs, basically, that are phenomenal. This band is going in a whole new direction. We just got to get this shit out. Like, people need to hear it, I think. I mean, I'm patting myself on the back. It's good music. I think it's good. I think everybody in the band who writes music is extremely talented in songwriting. So, I went till about 12:30. I got a bunch of stuff to grill, but people were already eating here. So, I came home, took a shower, and then we went. So, I've never been on the Parkway before. I can't say that. I've been on parts of it, but I don't spend a lot of time on it. And the first thing that looked like it might be a decent place to pull off and get a good view and pictures and stuff like that was Flat Top. Mind you, I've never hiked Flat Top before. So we pull in the parking lot. It says 2.6 miles. Now, the other day I walked 5 or 6 miles on the Blackwater Creek Trail, which was great because it's nice and flat. When you're hiking, it's a whole different story. And clearly I wasn't prepared. Thankfully, I had grabbed my Keens before I left the house just in case. And so I slapped those suckers on and tightened them as best I can. And so we headed out. Mind you, we have a 4-year-old, 7-year-old, an 11 or 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and I think a 16 or 17-year-old. Then Carol's... I can't remember, 35 to 39, basically, beyond that. And so, we're like, why not? Let's just do it. Maybe be a half hour to the top, which I think I don't know, we didn't get back until, well, it's 10 o'clock now. We didn't get back until about 8:30, I think it was. So we were gone like 6+ hours. It was almost 9, I think, when we got home. We get there, we pull off. It's probably about 3 at this point, 3:30 from all. We're trying to figure out how to get on the Parkway because there's a few ways to do it, but the way we took is definitely the best around here. Park the cars, we get out, we get ready. I'm stretching a little bit, and then we start taking off. So we go up a long way, and we finally get to a sign that says half a mile to the summit. We're like, all right, we did it, yay, woo! So we start taking that, we head up. Finally, it gets really steep. Like, there's parts where, like, Griffin, my 4-year-old, like, it's hard for him. I mean, we could get him up there, but the amount of work it takes, plus the amount of time to come back down, it's going to take a shitload of time. So, Carol took Griffin and started heading down with Samantha and Isaac. They're gone. We go up. We're like, you know what? Let's just go. We made it all this far. Grayson wanted to go, which was rare. So I'm like, if he's going to go, my 7-year-old son, then I'm going to go. And my sister-in-law, who's got a busted up knee in flip-flops, who actually ripped her pinky toenail off on the hike today. It was gross. So we get to the top. About 10 minutes from there, I felt so bad. Like, everybody was so close, and we were right there. So we get to the top. And I have to say, like, although my fear of heights is strong ever since the dream I had about Grayson, if you go back, there's a video somewhere in here where I talk about it. But I was relatively confident jumping around on the rocks today, and there were some pretty big drops. Excuse me. So we stayed about another 20 minutes, 25 minutes up there, taking pictures. Grayson, posing, doing sexy poses, as he likes to call them. That's me boy. I was really proud of him, too. I pulled him aside when we were coming back down, which I'll get on to now. We're coming back down. It's been about 25 minutes at the top. Just beautiful views. The breeze is nice. Just getting some nice selfies. and just some good shots, whatever. I didn't bring my good camera. I just had my phone, which I'm getting that new phone. I wish I had it then because I could have got some good pictures. So me and Geycen take the lead, and we're taking off for a while. Finally, I text back just to make sure everything's okay, because it's been like 10 minutes since we've had contact with him. Everything's fine. I talked to Carol a little bit. I actually told her when we were getting closer, I said, start honking the horn, or honk the horn every 2 or 3 minutes. So she did it. I never heard it. And for some reason, my phone, I didn't type it. I spoke into it. It said, fuck the horn every 2 to 3 minutes. I'm like, well, I didn't mean to say that. It's kind of funny, though. Geycen and I are up ahead. We know that Kim and Michaela are fine. So we're just making good progress coming down. I know it's getting dark at this point. I'm like, well, as long as we can get out of here within the next hour, I think we'll be okay. So we're going along. He's about 20 feet behind me, and I come around to turn. And that's when it happens. What's there in front of me? Yeah. The biggest black bear I have ever seen in my entire life. Standing 25 feet away from me. I just freeze. I know it sees me. I know it knows I'm there. And then I remembered Graysen's behind me. So I backed up. He seemed to just be walking off the bear, thankfully. And I turned around, I saw Geycen. I said, Geycen, go the other way. As calmly as I could. He's like, why? I'm like, just go the other way. He's like, why? I'm like, there's a bear over there. He's just like, really? I'm like, excited, which is just exciting. So I want to take you to that moment of my life. About 10 seconds of my life. I'm going to talk about 10 seconds of my life for probably the next 10 minutes. I kid you not. Several things happened. My cat wants to get out. I'll let him out in a minute. First thing is, I lost all instinct. Like, all my survival shows that I've watched and all the books that I've read was like, holy fuck, that bear is giant. It's faster, stronger than me. Now, if I had a sword, I would have fought it right then and there. You know I would have. However, I did not. So, in this one moment, my first reaction is don't run. Like, no matter how scared you are, do not run right now. Like, you will make yourself its prey. So I slowly just backed away, and then I turned around to stop Geycen. And then I turned around to make sure it was still moving off. It was. I push him back up the trail about 50 feet or so, and then Kim and Michaela are coming around the corner. And so I say, I don't know what to do. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, there's a fucking giant black bear over there. And they're like, shut up. I'm like, no, there's a giant fucking black bear. I'm serious. Like, I've been to zoos, I've been to circuses, and I don't enjoy things like that. I hate animals behind bars. But I've seen a lot of black bears in my day. A lot of black bears. On TV, like I said, from a distance in the circus, Clark's Trading Post, those I saw pretty up close. Nothing compared to the size of this fucking behemoth of a creature. Like, I know grizzly bears are bigger and polar bears are bigger, but this thing, I kid you not, if it stood on its hind legs, it was probably over 8 feet. Like, it was beefy. It was thick. It was probably about 3.5 feet to 4 feet wide. Like, I'm like, and it's lumbering along in the woods. I'm like, shit. A, is that the mom of the papa or the baby? Is there any more around here? Am I breaking the path between them and their babies? Like, I'm like, a million things were going through my head in that 1 second. Then I knew one thing. I had to be a dad. And I'm not into the whole masculine, feminine thing. Hunting and gathering. I knew in that moment, no matter what happened in the next minute or 2 minutes, I had to make sure he was okay. So I grabbed a stick. I started throwing rocks just around the area and yelling. And I held my sticks over my head, and we were just walking, and I was just saying the dumbest things just to try to lighten the mood. You know, bear, just stupid like ways of saying bear, and bear, chair, and hair, and Care Bear stare. I was like, Care Bear stare, and everybody laughed. So after about 5 minutes, I think we started feeling a little bit better, but I still was like, holy shit. I've seen bears in the wild before, black bears. I've been on a mountain where there's been black bears within range of me, but never saw them. I've been camping. I've seen them up in Maine, Bangor, Maine, on the side of the road. I've never in my life been this close to death. Like I said, if I had to fight it, it was I made a joke as we were walking through the woods. I said, if we run into one and I have to fight this thing, or if I have to do something, you have to record it. You've got to record it. I said, Kim has this beautiful camera. It records in HD. I'm like, you got to record it. Because if I'm going out fighting a bear, you can all watch it and go, holy shit, he said he was going to go out fighting a bear. Or kill a bear. I'm not into killing, but there's a bear out there that has a problem with me. And I'm going to find him one day. And hopefully I have my sword on me. And I am going to kill this son of a bitch. And I'm going to mount its head on my head. Yeah, I'm going to have it surgically implanted onto my head. Has anything like that ever happened to you? I mean, I've been in the woods and seen fox and coyote. I've seen raccoon. I've seen skunks when I'm like, oh my god, please don't get sprayed. Please don't get sprayed. Knock on wood, I never have up to this point. I've seen deer. I've never seen a goddamn moose. I used to go to New Hampshire every summer, and I never saw a moose. I have been wanting to see a moose in the wild for 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. About 20 years. So hopefully someday I see a moose in the wild. Beautiful land between here and Flat Top. Now there's Sharp Top and Flat Top. Flat Top is bullshit. It's not flat. There's a few oddly placed boulders that you can kind of sit on. But there's some, like, a lot of them I wouldn't put my foot on. I'm like, Jesus, that thing's just holding on between those two rocks. Like, eventually that will go. Because the Flume Gorge in New Hampshire, in Franconia Notch, they had a boulder almost identical, trapped between two walls of a crevasse. And rain eventually came through and washed it out. It's probably been there a million years. Who knows how long it's been there? So I was looking at these rocks going, yeah, no. Rocks that I've been on that high. Actually, I don't think I've ever been. No, I think this is the highest elevation, 4,001 feet. I've done 3,700 before. This one is kind of a cop-out, though. They cut paths like this up it. They do this a lot in Virginia, I've noticed. Instead of like making like a snaking path going up, the snake is like curled around the mountain, so you end up walking so long, when if you did something a little bit less long snaky and did a little tighter snaky, it's a little harder work, but you get up a lot faster. So stop doing it, Virginia. Stop ruining my hiking. But I feel great. I feel really good. My legs are sore as hell, but I feel like it's a step in the right direction. I feel like we've gone on a nice walk this week. We've gone hiking this week. We've done a lot of things this week. I've carried kids up a hill so I can lock them in the van with me because they're naughty. I feel like I'm making some right moves like to get back in shape again. And I feel good tonight. I feel really good. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of other things that happened. I want to talk about that bear thing just a few more minutes. I thought, I know what I should be doing right now, but it's all gone. I can't remember. I know I'm supposed to make noise and, like, make myself as big as possible. So with the four of us, too, if we were all making noise and waving our arms, the thing is probably not going to charge us. There may have been 3 or 4 of them in the area. I don't know. A few minutes later, 2 deer ran by, probably 50, 60 feet away, but nonetheless, I'm like, we're in the wild and it's getting to dusk and who knows if we're going to find another bear. And maybe this next one won't be so friendly. I seriously, though, moments afterwards when I sat with Geycen, the first thing I did is I took my knife out and I was looking at my bracelet. And I'm thinking, you know what? This is why I have this. I was like, I need to cut it and I need to skewer my knife to a long stick so I can poke it if it starts coming at us. I need to get a rock in the other hand and go from there. Well, I ended up breaking the stick in half that I was using as a walking stick, so I ended up trying to sharpen the end of it. But at that point, my sister-in-law had gotten out her telephoto lens, and she couldn't see it. She did, I think, get a picture of it way off in the distance. It's so disappointing. This is a big black bear. It was big. I couldn't imagine if it had charged. I don't know what I would have done. I would have grabbed Geycen, and I think I would have run down the hill because I don't know what else I could have done. Like, I could have run back up the path, but it's uphill and there's lots of slippery rocks. I'm not going to outrun it. I don't know. I've never been in that position like until today, like where I was just like, what do I do if it charges? I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. I would have been dead most likely, which sucks because I wasn't prepared. I didn't have my sword. But it was a fun day. A very memorable day that will not go away anytime soon. Then we got cotton candy slushes from Sheets. Really, really good. Really good. Cotton candy's not one of my favorite flavors or things in the world, but this is a good flavor. It has everything I want in a flavor. It's all right. As far as Sheets shakes go, that gets like an 8. That's like one of the best ones I've ever had. Nothing's gone probably over an 8 though. Maybe they should do a White Russian one, or maybe I should. So there's my day for you. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. Fear. I didn't let it control me for more than 3 seconds. When I realized that it was moving off, in my head I thought, okay, if it's moving off, we just wait 5-10 minutes and then move on. We'll throw some rocks, make sure it's not in the vicinity. If it's still moving, we can hear it in the brush. But I'll never forget this. I'm sorry I'm rambling about this, but it's not every day you come 20 to 25 feet away from just this enormous beast, like this, beautiful creature. Beautiful. I would love to have seen it at 5 feet if it wouldn't tear my face off, but deer all over the place today. Deer. Oh, I must have seen 30 deer today. Everywhere today. Lots of baby deer, too. I love baby deer for lunch. All right. If you guys are loving these like I'm loving them, the Road to 40 is going on for another 200 plus episodes. I think I might have an idea for something afterwards. Late night coffee and cigarettes. The Vlogcast. What do you think of that? Late night coffee and cigarettes with Geycen Oliver. I don't smoke, so I'll have to do something else. I thought that was a cool title. I like the Vodkast, but late night coffee and cigarettes. The Vlogcast. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play around with it. You guys have a great night. If you're loving them, please subscribe. Pass these along to anyone else who you know might hearing me talk about bear attacks every night. If they're 39, they might understand where I'm coming from. Have a great tomorrow. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow, today. Today's not over. It's only 10:17. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were tomorrow. And let's make the world spin a little happier together. I am Geycen Oliveira. This is the Road to 40, and this is how I survived a bear attack. You guys have a great, super night. I love you guys. You're awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow night on the Road to 40.